Okay, got a full room here. Good to see everyone. First, as we get started, I want to say congrats to Jessie Pagula and her family. Great opportunity this week, and I'm super excited for her family, and we wish her all the best. So what an accomplishment to this point to be where she's been now through 2 years, and we're just super fired up for her. With that, we're starting our week here Wednesday, and looking forward to getting into our prep and kind of burying ourselves into the process of what it's going to take to come out this weekend and play well. So with that, I'll turn it over to you with your questions.
Can you give us your injury update for the day?
Who do you want to ask? Just go ahead and ask.
I don't know. I mean, there was a bunch of guys there at the end of the year that were kind of questioning.
Tre'Davious won't practice. Not ruling him out at this point, but he will not practice today. Christian will be out there.
Limited or full?
Limited. Will not be out there. Yep.
What is Christian dealing with?
A lower leg injury. Yeah.
Is Tyler Bass will he be on the injury report?
He'll be out there limited.
So you did not sign any of the kickers that you reportedly tried out the other day, right?
No.
Is this the same injury Tyler was dealing with before?
Same area.
Okay.
Yeah.
Are you expecting Bedford to be able to go on Sunday?
We'll see. Yeah, we'll see.
How much did you miss this?
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, I missed the rapid fire questions of the injury report every week. Yeah. I understand you guys, but listen, I do get you have a job to do as well, so I respect that.
Usually you just come out and read it to us, and we don't have
Yeah.
to keep firing questions at
Yeah.
you. You weren't prepared today, Sean.
How do you feel about? How do you?
Sorry, Sal. Thank you, Sal.
How do you feel about your defensive tackle depth after Dwayne went down?
Yeah, unfortunate injury. Dwayne will be out for the foreseeable future. Unfortunate because he's a young player and he works his tail off. But it's an opportunity for somebody else to step up, as we always talk about, and we'll see where that goes. But right now, very confident in the guys that we have, and guys that'll step up for us.
With all the responsibilities and off-field things that Josh Allen has to deal with, being, he's investing in the companies, he's doing all these promotional skills, deals, even getting married. But how does he how do you see him compartmentalize all that stuff, and place his focus on football once the season begins?
Yeah, I think.
Before that.
What's that?
Even before that, but just now, week one.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's part of the uniqueness of Josh and how he is able to. He's always been able to, and now what he's been able to balance lately and compartmentalize. To your point, is nothing short of impressive. Just because life continues to get more and more complicated for all of us the older we get, right? But also for Josh in particular in some ways, but maybe it gets easier in some ways too. So he's got great support, I know, at home and with his extended family and mom and dad, and I had a chance to witness that firsthand and what type of support he has and they have together as a couple. So but Josh's ability has been apparent from day one with not only his ability to process information quickly, but also compartmentalize things rather effectively. So I'm not surprised by it.
Sean, how ready do you believe someone like Jamarcus or even Dorian Strong would be should their number be called Sunday night?
Yeah, they'll be ready. Those guys, they take a lot of pride in the preparation piece of things. Dorian obviously being new to us, but we've got great leadership on this team that can set a good example for them all the while.
Go ahead.
What goes into this week with Trey? Because obviously a couple weeks here without practicing. How do you ramp him up the further you get through the week and maybe he's not practicing?
Yeah, he's a pro, right? So when you just, Trey White, and he's always going to be studying, and whether he's in the training room watching, his iPad or at home or here, getting his rehab in at the same time. So he really wants to be out there, and we want him out there. So.
There was a report that Gabe Davis is rejoining the team. I don't know if you'd like to confirm that or not, but if so, what would Gabe be able to bring back to the organization?
Yeah, sure. So Gabe will rejoin us, and just not quite yet, but he will rejoin us, and more than likely be at some point on the practice squad injured, in that injured category. You know, he's still dealing with the injury and coming back from the injury, and so, you know, I think the vision here is at some point down the road. When that is, you know, I don't know, and I don't know that anybody knows at this point when that will be, that he can maybe help us on the field. So that's, you know, down the road, and right now, again, we're just focused on our practice today. So.
In the last couple of years, last 4 years exactly, 2-2 in season openers. Rams was pretty good. Maybe the Jets and the Steelers not as much. I know you analyze everything. When you've gone back and looked at your performance in week one, because it can be it's a different week, right? There's no tape on any other teams. What has stood out to you about maybe some of the uneven performances of your team, particularly in week one?
Well, I think they're all different. I know this, the season isn't decided in week one, so whether you win those or you come out on the short end, I think it's, you know, how you handle that week one performance, good or bad, and what you do as a team going forward and how the team comes together. That's, to me, a sign of a good team is a team that gets better through the year, whether you win week one or you don't.
What's it like to prepare for this game, because you've had months and months and months knowing that it's coming? Is it unusual in that sense?
Having months and months and months knowing it's coming?
To know the opponent, you know.
Yeah, I would say it's somewhat unusual that you know, their last game was us. For us, you know, they were our second to last game, and so the data, how much data, it really hasn't changed much, right? And you don't know every year when you open the unknowns. You know what, you know, plays they may have put in, what plays maybe we put in, and personnel has changed a little bit. Although I would say they're a strong team. They've seemed to add every year to their core, which has been very talented and you know, full of playmakers and guys that create issues, right? So you know, they've done a good job with their draft, I think, year to year, and added some free agency, some help from a veteran standpoint, and so you know, they're talented on both sides of the ball, and then they've, you know, certainly added a young kicker that apparently has a strong leg. So they do a really good job as far as building the roster. They're well coached, and you know, it'll be a big challenge for us.
In that sense, can you draw from what can you draw from the last two games you had against them last year, and how what Derrick Henry did in the first regular season game, and then how you were able to almost contain him in that playoff game?
Yeah, he's a tough person to contain, tough runner. You know, there's very few who have been able to do that, and you know, you try and put a plan in place to do that. There's a lot of people that have tried and haven't been able to do it. So saying it is one thing, doing it is another, and it takes all 11 guys on the field to be able to do it.
How difficult is it? You mentioned Henry. They're very good at running the ball, obviously, but they also throw it really well last year. They were a very, very balanced offense. How difficult for a defense to run up against an offense that can do both things so well?
Yeah, I mean, when you've got running backs, I should say, you know, Derek, not the only one back there, they do a really good job of the 2 to 3 backs that they use, complementing one another, and then with certainly Lamar's running ability, and then the ability to go and use the pass when you commit to the run. So it's a tough balance to strike as a defense in terms of how you want to allocate your resources.
John, what was your impression of going through the Hard Knocks experience now that it's all done?
Yeah, you know, I thought they were very professional in their approach. I'd be lying if I said I watched the episodes. I do get texts from people saying, "Hey, I saw this, I saw that." So, you know, but yeah, it was. I guess the experience overall was professional in nature in their approach, and met some good people, I would say, through the process here.
Sean, a couple weeks ago, you had mentioned to us that you were looking to see who was going to play alongside T-Rap. You guys released your depth chart. Cole is there. I know the sample size is small, but in the last couple weeks, what have you seen from him that makes you guys confident, kind of with that as your duo moving forward?
From Cole and then T-Rap. Yeah. Cole, like I mentioned before, is continuing to grow, and we see growth every day. He goes through new experiences, and then playing with T-Rap back there in the tandem that you have to be and become is important, and you learn from each other. Obviously, Cole learning probably a little bit more from T-Rap than the other way around, but that's an important duo, and they have to form their own identity, and that'll be new this year for the most part.
Sean, as an organization, you guys made a lot of moves on defense, but here we are coming into week one, and you've got a combination of injuries, you got the guys on suspension. How difficult is it to have the urgency of opening week, but also the patience to know, like you said before, it's a work in progress as the year goes on?
Well, I think, you always have to know, not I think I know, it's a journey, right? So I think, I know just overall, you can never get too high, never get too low, and, it's about how you start a season and then how that team over the course of time comes together through the highs and lows of the journey that are going to happen. You just don't know in what form or fashion, and I think that's one of the really neat parts about looking back at prior years where you're saying, hey, yes, we went through that, and we actually survived it. We actually figured it out and were able to overcome it, whatever it was. I think that's part of the cool experience of being part of a team, if you will, that you can look back on the season and say, hey, man, we came out all right. We figured that piece out. That's what some of the kind of the creative part of a season, I guess you would call it, right? To just be able to figure things out. You guys play golf, many of you, and just how do I figure out this hole or whatever. So I think that's a neat part of a season, and that's some of what you look forward to, because it's not, you could start great and then, but nothing's ever perfect, and then kind of go down this way. And I think we've done a good job of kind of just figuring things out during the course of a season through injuries and different things, and then our team getting better as the season goes on. And every year is a little bit different, but going through the challenges and experiencing that journey, I think is part of the fun of the season, if you will, even though it's not fun sometimes when you're going through it. But being able to have that resilient nature and figure things out is important.
I know you were out
There last week. Go ahead.
Sure. I was gonna ask, will Jordan Hancock practice today?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
I know Khalil was out there last week. Where's he at entering the week, and as he kind of continues?
He'll be out there. He'll be limited as well. Yep.
And for him, if you look across your team in terms of personalities, he's probably one of the ones that, doesn't pop up too much. He's reserved. He's quiet. If you could, not just what he brings as a player, but as a leader, can you kind of speak to that and what he means in that room?
Yeah, he is a leader. Thank you for asking about that. He's a leader. Leaders come from all different areas of a team. The way he leads is mostly by example, which is sometimes one of the more powerful ways to lead. He doesn't say much, but he says what he needs to say. And his leadership will continue to grow over the years as he's here and as he continues to be him, because he's a tremendous person and a tremendous football player.
What's led you to pinpoint two captains? I know the team's had various ones, but for the last 2 years now you've had two captains. What's led to that decision?
Yeah, the players. I let the players vote, and it was pretty clear the two that they felt like were worthy of having that C on their chest. So that's what we went with.
Sean, how do you prepare the first-year players in particular to face Lamar Jackson and Derrick Henry, because they're such unique talents? It almost seems like until you face them, you really don't get it.
Yeah, you took the words out of my mouth, Josh. It's a unique experience. I don't know where in college or prior to the NFL where they've tried to tackle a 250-pound running back that's fast, and then a quarterback that is as unique as Lamar and his elite skill sets that he has, not just running, but throwing as well. And so, I think, again, our locker room will do a really good job with trying to make sure that these guys are ready to go, and they just got to trust their preparation. And so they'll get better through the year. Rarely do you come out and play a perfect game. But again, that's part of the process, part of learning and part of growing is where you start versus where you finish.
Follow
Coach,
up.
having played them twice last year, one where it didn't go well for you guys and the other one it did, is there anything that you have like a heightened awareness of that you just wouldn't know about them had you not gone through those games that you can take with you into this one?
I think until you experience it, I think Coach Monken does a really good job of offensive structure, offensive play calling, trying to challenge an opponent, changing some of what he does. And I think, he does a really good job of keeping you off balance. I don't think he gets enough credit. Certainly a talented football team offensively in this case, as you're asking about. And so I think it's one thing to be talented. It's another thing to put the players effectively in a good position. And he does it as well as anybody.
Just to follow up on the captain stuff, is there a reason why you thought maybe 2 is more effective than having like 8 as in years prior? Is there a reason why you asked the guys to only vote on 2?
Yeah, no, I just felt like if you ask for 2, you're going to get a pretty good cross-section of the vote in terms of the sample. And like I said, then just where we ended up was with 2. So, and at the end of the day, I get final say. So, but I want to hear from them. It's their team, and I want to hear from them. And I have a ton of respect for the vote, and yet so I'm not going to put somebody on there that is not able and willing to handle the responsibility that comes with being a captain, because it's there's also leadership piece with that, and you got to be. You got to know that you're held to a higher standard when you have that C on your chest. So.
More with Curtis Samuel. We haven't seen him at all. He hasn't practiced much.
Yep.
What's going on?
Yeah, no, he was dealing with the injury in camp, and then he went through a personal experience here recently, which is you can ask him about that, but it was a good thing, and so he was dealing with that like we all would too, and so now he's back and ready to roll here.
Have you ever had a chance while studying up on the Ravens, reflected back to 2018, and Lamar and Josh getting their debuts
Yeah, how about that,
backup
right?
roles?
Yeah, you follow the journey of all the games that we've played against them, and 8 going from 18 that year, start of that season to I think we played in 19 again, or maybe it was 20. It was 19 or 20, and then just the evolution from there of where that gap was early on for us. I mean they beat us up pretty good in that game, and to your point, Lamar and Josh, and then being out there later in the game, both of them I believe, and so now it's just fun to watch the journey of both teams and Josh and Lamar as well for that matter. Thank you guys, appreciate it.